Ax Dogara says, I blame the judiciary. We have more inmates awaiting trial than those convicted. Dolakbo Bobo says, the government should take responsibility because that's one of their sole priorities.
Yes, my take is that the whole essence of prison is correctional and reformatory.
First of all, prisons correctional facilities.
The facilities are grossly lacking, and that is why we see John sentenced tomorrow. Tomorrow he gets his freedom. The next minute he's back there. These are the attributes of the congestion. If John was corrected or reformed while imprisonment, he might not want to go back to those deeds. So that fall again within the corridors of the state.
Naturally,
and then you see
a correctional institution.
And if you look at
because where you find, for those who have been sentenced, they have little say in the matter. They have to go for this training and the likes. But for awaiting trials, is at their peril. They can decide to go, they can decide not to go. But when you find majority of these inmates being awaiting trials, you find that when they are released, they go into crime. I did the matter of the 131 inmates I talked about. One of them was released, and I tried to do a follow-up. The man told me he's back in prison. You can imagine, because while he was there, he was being trained and retrained. He got there as an underage, and that is another point again. You find some of our court sentencing some of these inmates, underage inmates. In May last year, about 12 of them were sentenced. I had to make my position known to the state, though initially there was denial, but at a point, they had to release some of these inmates. And you find out that many of them, when I got to prison one day, I saw one of them selling alcohol in the prison. That happened in the prison. That's another.
That is the responsibility of the state. He has accepted the failure.
No. I don't know. What I'm saying is that in the first place,
please let me talk about this issue of juvenile.
In the first place,
you see, the problem here is the problem is if you look at on the face of the charge sheet.
Okay, let him respond to the
on the face of the charge. Each charge bears the age of an accused or a defendant depending on the circumstances. And if the police, who is a function of the state, decides to choose and coerce out of duress the accused person to accept that he's above 18, it does not lie on the magistrate to embark on inquiry as at the moment of arraignment.
The magistrate also sees, and that is where we talk about the emotional intelligence. The magistrate, there was no doubt in some of these children. Some of them were as little as 14 years. 13 years. There's no doubt about the fact that these are underage, and there should be questioning of the prosecution, and there should be an inquiry. At the end of the day, they were put in critical maximum.
The beauty
of a place meant for the worst of criminals. Yes.
The beauty of the whole practice is that if you are grieved, you have a place to channel your grievance. How many people have petitioned a particular magistrate or a judge that for wrongfully detaining a juvenile or ordering the detention of a juvenile? There is no record of such. So the mere fact that you feel without subjecting that person to the proper test as a research under the law, and upon finding out that you did not follow it up,
I did that
to query that means you are even sweeping truth under the carpet.
Set up a committee to go and review the cases of these underage persons, and I was part of it. The Directorate of Citizens' Rights was also part of it. The legislative bodies. Then, at the point there was denial in the papers and that there were no underage. But when we got there, some of these officers even cried. When
We've been talking about Lagos. Are the prisons in Lagos decongested?
They are not. They are not. What I'm saying is that despite the law, for some other states we can argue because we can argue that maybe the laws are not sufficient enough, the laws are not robust enough. But in Lagos, since 2007,
there are some.
Okay.
Some
what do you say about Lagos, like where the state seems to be working?
They don't have the capacity. That is, they don't have the means to full capacity. In either the prison there is for 102, but what they have as at the time we took record was 36 inmates. So you can see that it is because of the immense population in Lagos, and then the inability of states to have a proper database.
But he says the state is properly organized. The state has worked out different systems, the laws in Lagos, the criminal, the criminal justice system in Lagos.
The law is not only for the judiciary to enforce. The judiciary cannot so much enforce a law without carrying the police, who is the state. So some of these laws are obeyed in breach rather than adherence.
What do you mean by carrying the police?
For instance, when you issue an order or in the course of investigation, a policeman chooses to extract confessional statement under duress. And based on that findings, which is the facts attached to the proof of evidence, upon looking at it, at that stage, a judge may be reluctant to grant bail. And however, what is the whole essence of bail? The whole essence of bail is to secure the attendance of an accused person to face his case on a named date and time. So you do not just give somebody bail without verifying his address.
When
you do not give somebody bail without the person meeting certain times that will secure his attendance subsequently in court.
Even when
so you cannot say that bail is
what of delayed trials? Some of the judges do not get to court on time. I was in a court one time where the judge said a counsel stood up and the counsel on the other side did not come, and the counsel stood up and said, "My lord, the court sits by 9." The judge told the counsel, "Will you keep quiet? This court does not sit by 9." And in truth, the court sits around 12, and the court rises around 3 o'clock. So what you find is that his list becomes congested. The court does not have time to listen to all parties, and you get long adjournment. So long adjournment is also a reason why we have congested prisons.
Lagos State is that we have criminal jurisdiction. We have lands, we have family, we have different jurisdictions. And apart from very few cases, most of the criminal justices in Lagos, as it concerns the High Court, are niners. By niners, I mean they sit by 9. I'll give you an instance. I had one criminal case at Ikeja. I would not want to mention the name of the judge. I took her for granted that I was appearing then at the foyer, Lagos. I was doing one criminal trial. What he said, to that extent, you come, the court might not sit, and this. So I felt that the thing has spread only to that extent of maybe one among millions.
Hey, we are talking about,
no, but we must talk about the good ones. I'm only protesting my point that this woman, the point I'm trying to say is that this particular woman sits by 9. And if by 9 your case is called and she strikes it out, certain people will begin to grumble. But what she wants to do is to decongest the court and to assist too in decongesting the prisons. Because once a case is struck out, a criminal case, they will issue a warrant for the person to go, though he's discharged but not acquitted.
Okay, but the police sometimes will not release the person.
No. At that point, it is not the police. It is not the police that will release.
The prisoner is already in the prison.
The point, at that point, it is the officers of the court that will prepare the reproduction warrant.
You can
see which the person will be released.
So a lot of power lies in the judiciary.
So you agree with him again?
No, I didn't agree with him.
No, you agree with him?
No, I didn't. I'm saying that once such an order has been made, as it concerns this particular judge, I've seen people go free. If he's saying that such order had been made and it was not, let him be specific.
No, I've not said any of such.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that the judiciary, as it concerns particularly Lagos State, they have been trying to
I'm not talking about Lagos.
If you look at the congestion of cases in Lagos,
even with the laws,
you'll find out that
hold on.
In some court lists, you have more than 50.
Hold on. You're saying in Lagos, even with the law.
Yeah, I'm saying even with the robust laws we have.
That even with the state doing its part. Are you agreeing that the state is doing its part in Lagos?
To an extent, yes.
To an extent.
Yes, to an extent.
So what is the problem in Lagos, since the prisons in Lagos are still congested?
What I'm saying, the problem largely lies with the judiciary.
I have said, and I'll continue to maintain, that the problem lies with the states. And the Attorney General is a function of the state.
Okay, let's see if we can.
The DPP, the prosecutors that we are talking about, who comes to court to take adjournments unnecessarily. And
the court who grants them.
Who are they working for?
The court grants them.
Who are they working for?
You can seek adjournment. No, but it is the power of the court to grant or not to grant. I have also been in some court
where judges mandated people to work with their case. I've been in court
where
judges will mandate
because
a lawyer.
Because of indolent prosecution.
Where a lawyer who is not ready to go on, the court will mandate him to go on.
In some cases,
I had a case where a client will brief you today. The next adjournment, he brings another lawyer. And unfortunately for me, I did not know the antecedent of this client. When I appeared before a judge, I said, "My lord, I have just briefed yesterday." He said, "Mr. Abaka, it's unfortunate. You are about the 5th lawyer in this case. I will not give you adjournment, but I will stand down your case to enable you get the records and do your cross-examination." And I was obliged.
What?
So if I had sneaked out, will you now attribute it to the judge?
What will you say in a case where, for instance,
I've just given you
where the liberty of the inmate is in question, and the judge grants a very long adjournment? What do you say about that?
There
And
is
the law
a remedy.
provides the fundamental right
There's
of
usually a remedy.
procedural rules provides that those cases must be had expediently. With speed.
We have occasions of petitioning judges. When you feel aggrieved, you have an option. NJC is there. The Chief Justice of Lagos State is there. But when you don't explore these avenues,
Where you have,
then you are the cause of that person's detention.
No,
you must take responsibility of contributing to that person's continued detention.
No, it's not.
You must take responsibility. We've gotten to a level in life where we must be taking responsibilities. And at this point, I said that the state should take responsibility of the system.
Can I ask you what responsibility have you taken against the state? Have you sued the state for failing in their duties?
Oh, I have severally. I have pending cases, even by way of fundamental human rights enforcement.
Pending,
who did I? Yes,
pending cases. Why are they still pending?
They are still pending because the same states.
Because the court.
No, because the same states will scheme one way or the other. Instead of filing their counter affidavit,
okay,
they will delay.
1 second.
This is the state I'm talking.
Okay,
this is the state I'm inviting. It is not the judiciary that files a counter.
Hold on. Have you petitioned the judges or the judiciary for failing to do its responsibilities?
I have not. It's not. It's not.
So why are you now blaming them?
Well, I'm blaming because we are saying we are talking of a judge might not necessarily be bad in all its ramifications. You understand? Some little patients would sometimes you destroy the case of a client. For instance, I was having a case of a client who has been in DSS custody for about a year, and I keep hitting the brick wall in one of the federal courts of the country. And at the point in time, the judge told me it was about issue of maybe I should strike out the name of the AG or not. And at the point, the judge wanted me to strike out that name. And at the point, the judge told me, will you strike it out? Let me rule so that you can appeal. I know if I appeal, the appeal will take like 5 years, 6 years because of failing of the judiciary. So I have to use my sense. I have to be a little bit patient. Some months would not destroy my case totally. But when I become too aggressive, then my client will suffer.
Yes.
So those are some of the impediments.
About issue of petitioning. You see, at times you bring an application before a court, and you join a wrong party. The court, by way of giving hint, will tell you what is the relief you are seeking against the AG. Do you look at the AG as a proper party?
That is not the case. That is not the
where
case
you bring in an AG
that is
of
not the
Lagos
case
State
in this matter.
at the Federal High Court,
that is not
wanting him, seeking for an order from the Federal High Court.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. We really have to go. So, in closing, your position. What should be done the way forward?
My position is that the judiciary should probably undergo more training, and they should bring in. They should be more steadfast in handling of these cases.
All right, thank you.
We should have proper, proactive, positive, and implementable prison reforms, not the ones on the paper, not the ones that will be conducted by one AG bringing his cronies and cohorts to benefit from the course of the public.
All right, thank you very much. We've been speaking with legal practitioner Alan Baka, who's also a human rights crusader. Thank you for coming. Another legal practitioner, Ahmed Adetola Kazim, a director of Prisoners' Rights Advocacy Initiative. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Let's see if we can take 1 or 2 tweets before we go. Uche Uponu says, inasmuch as the judiciary is part of the state as an arm of government, the state in this context, in my view, is the executive. Then Oyewole Modinat says, I believe the state and judiciary are the problems of prison congestion. Both have powers to reduce and eradicate congestion. And finally, Elias Ajadi says, the criminal justice system in Nigeria is in shambles. To start with, why should the police continue to prosecute cases? Well, questions, more questions. Well, thank you so much for letting us be a part of your evening. Have yourself a good night. I'm Neo Taigwe.